Eamon, sorry to cut you off in mid-flow there. We're going straight over to an extended interview with the Israeli Foreign Minister Tzipi Livni, who's speaking to my colleague Hassan Jamul on our Arabic language channel. And we'll be translating Hassan's questions, but you will hear Tzipi Livni's answers in English.
Hamas movement. Therefore, the military operation launched by Israel might fail, like what happened in the July war in 2006.
I feel empathy and sympathy for the Palestinian people, not for Hamas. There's a need to understand that Israel decided to work with the Palestinians in order to create a Palestinian state that should include Gaza Strip and the West Bank as well. We decided in Annapolis to work with the legitimate Palestinian government, and we are doing so. But in order to do so, we need also to act against extremism, violence, and terrorism. Hamas doesn't represent the national aspiration of the Palestinians. Hamas represents extreme Islamist agenda, which is talking only about hatred and incitement and terror and death, and this is something that all of us need to change. I believe that Israel stands with the entire Arab world. I would like to finish my
parachute down from heaven. It was elected through the election poll, and they were given the mandate by the Palestinian people, which election was, as witnessed by the international community, was transparent and with absolute integrity.
In Gaza Strip there was a coup, and Hamas took Gaza Strip by power. Now there is no place for this kind of acts in any kind of democratic system. And according to Israel's democracy and the entire free world, terrorist organization who cannot accept the right of others to exist, to live in peace and quiet, cannot abuse the system in order to gain power. And I'm not, my idea is not to interfere within the internal situation of the Palestinians. I just need to give decent life, peace and quiet to the Israelis. Israel left Gaza Strip. We decided to leave Gaza Strip, we took our forces out, we dismantled settlements in order to create a vision of peace to all of the Palestinians. This could have been the beginning of the creation of a Palestinian state. But what Hamas is doing is trying to reverse. No, I will not. I want to finish my
Palestinians
answer.
And their blood
instead
and
of
property,
giving hope for the Palestinians,
by way of
Hamas took over,
devastating
and now
the
he
property
spread
and
only
instilling
despair to
panic
the Palestinians themselves.
and destruction.
So Israel has now, and we need to give hope for our people.
I asked you, Madam Livni. I asked you.
I couldn't hear. Now I can
said
hear
that
you.
you are seeking a decent life for the Israeli, and I'm asked you, will that free society and the decent living of the Israeli people will be at the expense of the Palestinian people who will pay the price in their blood and property, including women, children, and elders?
We would like to live in peace and to have the Palestinian population to live in peace in this region. As I said before, Israel left Gaza Strip. We don't want to control the Palestinian life, but the only thing that we want is to live in peace. Unfortunately, Hamas took Gaza Strip hostage and is targeting Israel. So Israel trying to avoid any kind of civil casualties. We are trying to act only against Hamas headquarters and Hamas representatives and Hamas militants. But at the end of the day, and unfortunately, Hamas abused the support of the population. It targets Israel from places which are civil population centers in Gaza Strip. And since, unfortunately, while we are trying to act against Hamas, there are also some civil casualties. This is not our target. This is against what we believe in. But at the end of the day, the difference between Israel and Hamas is that Hamas acts deliberately against women and children in Israel. So this is something that the responsibility lies on the shoulders of Hamas and they are those who are responsible for the life of the civilians in Gaza.
Mosques, places of worship, the UNRWA headquarters and other civilians' homes, including the women and children who are falling victims to the bombardment. Under this condemnation from the international community, will all this be considered that you are only targeting Hamas?
When Israel decides to attack a place, before we attack, we send a message to all the civilians that may be out there to leave the place. This is what we did before we started this operation in Gaza. This is what we are doing today. And I call all the Palestinians, those who know that they are living very close to Hamas headquarters or in places in which they know that Hamas uses in order to manufacture missiles, leave these places. We have no quarrel with you. We are not looking for citizens. We are trying to avoid any kind of civil casualties. A loss of a child is something which I can feel the despair and the understanding of the nature of the loss. But we need to act against Hamas. And I know that you want to take care of your family, so leave the places in which there is a possibility that you can be affected by the Israeli operation against Hamas.
Madam Minister, you request the civilians to leave their homes while you know that Gaza Strip is only 350 kilometers, totally besieged by your forces. No one is able to exit or enter the enclave. It is totally besieged and cut off from the international world without conceivable means of defense. How can people leave while the warships are shelling them heavily, pinpointing and targeting cars, universities, mosques? How do you think your call will be heeded by them?
The way Israel operates is very specific and very accurate. And when I tell the population to leave a place in which they know that on the second floor or the first floor there is somebody who manufactures missiles, or when there are places in which they know that there are Hamas headquarters, I'm not telling them to leave Gaza Strip. I'm telling them to leave for another place within Gaza Strip. As you know, and as I said, Israel left Gaza Strip. Israel decided to leave not in order to come back, but when we need to give support and to defend our citizens, we have no other alternative. The people of Gaza could have lived now in a better place. We left greenhouses in Gaza Strip. We dismantled the settlements. We called the Palestinians to live in peace with. But unfortunately, Hamas abuses the situation and he spread hatred and terror, and unfortunately